don't have a lot of red in my closet. Not really my color, but I got one thing. So we're breaking it out tonight on the Eternal Baseball Podcast because it is Reds at Braves tonight in our game of the week. Two teams that are underperforming maybe a little bit. The Reds have never been as good as they probably should be. So we're hoping they snap out of it. Maybe we can help them tonight by managing the Braves and doing a great job. But I'll back up and get all this in its glory, right? Like,
woo! Look at that.
This is as good as it gets. Let's see if I can get this on camera. This is game worn, authentic, autograph. See that?
Yes. Yeah, I can't read it though because
not that it matters because nobody knows him. That would be relief pitcher Ben Weber, who came up with the Giants, got traded to the Angels same year. 30-year-old rookie, and had 3 really good years in the Anaheim pen in like 03 to 06 maybe, and then a terrible year in the Angel pen. And he got, I don't know, traded, released, not sure, but made his way to Cincinnati, which would be his last stop. 10 games, 8.03 ERA. So this may well be, at least of the alternate, right? The only Ben Weber game used.
I love it. eBay? Where did you procure it? Nice.
Yeah, I have a small but proud collection of Weber jerseys. But only a couple of them are game used. So I have one of Diamondbacks' failed prospect Neil Weber, a sleeveless Diamondbacks purple pinstripe, very nice.
Ooh, nice.
And I remember trying to haggle the guy down because he wanted I think $1.50 for it, and I'm like, "Come on, man, Neil Weber, he only pitched 5 games." And he was like, "Yeah," and he was awesome. He counted with, "Yeah, I know it's rare." Oh, so fine. I'll take that Neil Weber off your hands. Free shipping, though, right? No.
Brutal.
That one stung a little bit. And there was a John Weber, Jon, which is my dad's name, but not how he spelled it, who pitched for the Yankees, but only in spring training. And now in any Yankee jerseys through the roof. And it doesn't have his name on it because Yankee jerseys have no name. And I'm like, You know what? If it doesn't say Weber, that's just a 70.
Yes.
and it was a 70 because that's about how good John Weber was for the Yankees. But anyway,
yeah, no roto jerseys, unfortunately. Maybe at some point I'll comb through the Serie A, Serie B, Serie C, Serie D, like Italian soccer leagues, and see. But there might be one of them there somewhere.
Got to be a couple, or something.
Got to be somewhere. There's a small village in the middle. So
I seem to remember seeing your name misspelled with a U occasionally over the years in school and such.
Yes. So, I could just take a marker and just
complete the U, right?
There you go.
You're good to go.
I'm not above that.
Whatever, and a lot of Webers are like, believe you me, if my name was Brown or Jones, I wouldn't be collecting jerseys. But but I got a couple Weber jerseys. I got a Weber State basketball jersey.
There you go.
It's not Damian Lillard.
I was gonna say that would make it a little more.
Yeah, it wouldn't fit me. Wouldn't fit me, but whatever. Anyway, so it's Reds Braves tonight. Two teams that have underachieved a little bit, and we are always trying to make sure the teams are as competitive as possible. And so both these teams kicked the guy out of their rotation this week. I think it was Tommy Bond, who pitched in like the 1890s and who's struggling for the Braves, and Will White, another guy who pitched from like 1890 to 1901 or something. So they both got kicked out. So we have 2 guys making their season debuts tonight. That's kind of cool. And it's Hall of Famer Warren Spahn against José Rijo, right? So
I like it.
That's one of my favorite bits of Eternal Baseball is when a team decides to dip into their minors. They're calling up
Warren
Spahn. Ridiculous. So we will get to that all in good time.
As Rob says, followed by Beastmaster.
That's exactly right.
There you go.
So it is funny when I worked for McFarlane Toys and we were making action figures based on real athletes. We got sort of heat maps for fans from some of the leagues to see, who resonates where, how big a team's territory is. And the Braves were ridiculous. Not just that they owned the entire Southeast, right? Because when we were watching them, and it was the only baseball on basically in Oregon. There were no Marlins, there were no Rays, there were nothing like that. So they owned the Southeast, but they had pockets everywhere around the nation, anywhere where there wasn't a strong home team, right? So like they owned Denver, because who's Denver going to root for before the Rockies, right?
Yeah,
It was really the other team like that, Chicago Bulls, right? Because just everybody rooted for Jordan, so it didn't matter where you were. There were some cities that had NBA franchises where the favorite team was Chicago.
Ouch.
That's rough. That's right. It was the biggest team, Bulls fans, a lot of them in Sacramento for a long time. So anyway, so we will get to that tonight, but let me pop up the week it was. Share that screen. So we had two teams streaking, and I mean that in the purely baseball sense, in the opposite direction. So the Oakland A's had won 12 straight. And I don't know if they still have the record, but the A's won, the Moneyball A's won 20 in a row, I think, in 21. So these A's are off and running too, and they just got beat yesterday, losing at Boston to Cy Young. So it'll happen. That kid's going to be good, I think. But then today they rebounded and beat Roger Clemens. So maybe a new streak. So Oakland has turned it on, but the rest of the AL West has been pretty good too. So they didn't run away with anything. And then Tampa. Oh my God, poor Tampa. They had a bit of a dead cat bounce in season 2, but this year they're the worst. Yeah, I think they're the worst team. And they're 13-46, but at one point they were 13-31, and then 15 straight losses for Tampa. So there ain't no spit on that. Pretty much everybody is having a bad year in Tampa, and in fairness to them, they're a little hamstrung because they're only drawing talent from 97, 8, something like that. So sorry to Tampa. And yeah, if you look at them here, we're here in week 10, looking at how teams did. They had another perfect week this week. Had 0-6. And my darling, the one
they haven't had a winning week. Oh man.
No, not at all. Like they had a pair of 3-3 weeks, and that was like the high water mark. But the team I'm pulling for, the Nationals, who have the shallowest talent pool just for time wise to pull from. They only pull from 5 because they don't get the Montreal roster, right? Because Montreal exists separately. They were cruising along right around 500. I was pretty excited about them because remember, this is the best Nationals ever. And if you squish that team together, that's still Bryce Harper and Jason Worth and Trey Turner and Anthony Rendon and Strasburg and Scherzer and pretty good.
Yeah.
A couple of spikes anyway, but the underneath talent is very shallow. And they went 1-5 this week, so maybe they're coming back to earth. We'll see. But the good teams, the White Sox play good. Dodgers, who've never quite been as dominant as you think they might be, and part of it is San Francisco just eats them alive, head up. So they're going to. Well, normally I would say they have to get past that mountain, but wild cards this year, so they don't have to. But
yeah, one of these years of the Dodgers and the Reds are just going to go berserk mode. And
I think the Reds, the hamstring for the Reds is they haven't really had all world pitchers almost ever. So they got a bunch of really good pitchers, but almost everybody has really good pitchers if they get to pick through their entire history. Whereas the Dodgers, right, you would assume that Koufax and Kershaw are going to go nuts the same year, and nobody will touch them. Right? This is a Dodger team that has Fernando Valenzuela in his prime in the minors, right? He can't crack their roster. So I agree with you. I think LA is going to have a season where they just don't get touched. But I haven't seen it yet. I expect that for the Mets too. The Mets have never been as good as I expect because I'm waiting for Seaver, Gooden, DeGrom to all go nuts at the same
time. The Tim Tuffle Triple Crown year.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Howard Johnson's going to hit.
Oh, Joe.
It's going to be amazing. But anyway, White Sox are great, even though Frank Thomas is god-awful this year, but they have plenty of sluggers. Dodgers good, Yankees always good. We told you about the A's. Padres have rebounded this week, which is good to see because there is quite a bit of talent down there. Everybody else kind of in the middle. The Cubs came back to earth a little bit. Best team in baseball most of the way, and still quite good, but back-to-back 3 in 3 weeks. So maybe Chicago is coming back down to ground a little bit. And we would be remiss not to acknowledge the passing of Sal Bando, the 4-time All-Star third baseman for the Oakland A's, and then 5 years in Milwaukee before retiring. And then I think he did a little broadcasting and then became Milwaukee's general manager for quite a while. So, and of course, Sun Devil, baby. So we appreciate that.
I knew you wouldn't miss that. I saw that in one of the articles.
Yeah. Captain of the three-peat Oakland A's in, I think it was 72, 73, 74. So, and he is that, and again, obviously, no offense, but Oakland's got some talent. So Bando actually competes for third base time in Oakland because Jimmy Fox also qualifies as a pretty bad third baseman. But if you're in Oakland, you've also got McGuire and Giambi looking for at-bats at first, where Jimmy Fox normally played. And it's only one DH, though Oakland has petitioned for 2 DHs. But, third base at Oakland, it's him. It's got Jimmy Dykes, played a long time ago. And it's Matt Chapman, who has not only the best glove of the bunch, but one of the best gloves in the league. So
Carney Lansford?
Lansford doesn't make the cut.
He's got the best mustache on the team.
Let's
not mince words.
And the best nervous at that, right?
Yep.
So anyway, that's the week it was. But what we're looking at right now, looking at the standings, a lot of separation actually around the way. San Fran up 7 in the West, Cubs up 8 in the North. Braves are up, but they're only 30 and 29. That NL South is kind of rough. 5 games up on Miami. Philadelphia is 4 games up on Montreal. Oakland, now 7 games up on LA. LA has, I'm trying to fix it. They are not playing Ohtani as much as they should. So I got in there and tweaked a couple things to try to make sure he's always in the lineup, one way or the other, just like in real ball. And I will keep an eye on them because it's not fair. Not fair if LA misses the playoffs because they didn't play Ohtani enough. So we'll get them out there. Chicago's up on Cleveland in one of the better divisions. And you call Cleveland whatever you want. I'm not having that fight again. We had a lot of that this week. So, yeah, Cleveland. How's that?
The Cleveland Baseball Club.
Yeah, exactly. Notice that we put the Ohio team on tonight, and it was the Reds. So read into that whenever you want. Kansas City is tied with Birmingham in the dreadful American League South, which is normally dreadful except for Birmingham. But 26 and 33 is good enough for first place in that division. So, but Birmingham had a good week. I think they were like 4 and 2 this week. So we keep waiting for Birmingham to wake up because they were so dominant in season 1 and season 2 that
it's a matter of time.
Yeah, even a fall off, they should still be pretty damn good, right? But we'll see where it goes. And then the Yankees are pretty incredible. Though Sparky Lyle, who had been their best reliever, served up a gopher ball to Jermaine Dye on Friday night to lose at Kansas City. And I know that because I watched it happen. And I'm like, Sparky, what are you doing? Ironically, Sparky Lyle, not a Sun Devil. So, anyway, they're up.
Rob's on the Guardian train.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had some.
Was there some tasteful banter the other night?
Yeah, a little bit. I guess you're not a professional writer. Whatever, guy. Whatever floats your boat, man. We don't hear too much from the St. Louis Brown fans, the Colt 45 fans, the Seattle Pilot fans, the Washington Senator fans. We don't hear from them a whole lot, but there is a recency to the wound, I think, with some Cleveland fans. So
yeah, I agree.
I get it. No agenda here. We refer to franchises by their current name. But we will try to make sure we're as gentle about it as we can.
Tino has a.
Oh, here we go. This is our Tiger fan number 1.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah, I saw a picture of Sparky Anderson, an old one, at like 44 years old, and he's already shock white, right? Like he was old quick. If that sounds like a yogi term, but he got older. He got old young.
Old early.
Yeah, that's what he would have said. So anyway, that's what we got going on. But right now, it's time for baseball. And we got a bit of a conundrum with the Reds roster, which is they have played Johnny Bench into the dirt. Like he never gets a day off. So I'll show you. The computer is telling us, hey, Johnny needs a day off. They actually make, especially with catchers, they make the stats go down a little bit every game they play after like 14 in a row.
That's still pretty good, though. If
they are begging for Johnny Bench to have a day off, and yet, would Johnny Bench take the game of the week off with the whole world?
No,
probably not. So anyway,
Rob makes a good point about the old Indians mascot. That
a lot of people agree with that. We have not commented. We have simply said pretty straight. We just use the current names of franchises. That's it. Because the game in question, Stan Kovaleski, who pitched in the 1910s and had a wicked spitball. There's a story that he sawed off Ty Cobb and broke his bat, and Cobb hit it for a single anyway, because that's what Ty Cobb does, and got a spray of tobacco juice off the ball in his face and ran to first base cursing Kovaleski. Anyway, Kovaleski threw a shutout in Eternal Baseball and was named Player of the Day, and we put it up and shared it to all our Cleveland boys on Facebook. But we listed him as for the Cleveland Guardians. And so a smattering of Cleveland fans slapped our wrists verbally and said, "Don't you even know? Duh. He was an Indian." And we get it, but
hilarity ensued.
Yeah, well, I'm just, and I think the most salient point was, look, it's confusing as hell if we refer to everybody with a team they used to play for that may not exist anymore, because that actual headline would have been Cleveland Indians Stan Kovaleski was firing on cylinders today, shutting out or outdueling Washington Senator Walter Johnson as the Guardians blanked the Twins 4-0. Like, come on.
Not going to do it. But for the record, I also think that the Notre Dame Fighting Irish logo should probably go too. As we're talking about, like,
I mean, just on,
over the top logos,
just on an annoying scale.
the little tiny guy ready to fight old timey style. It's like
yeah. That's not how Irish fight.
my Irish grandfather might have something
might have an issue with that. So, all right. So here we go. So if the computer's setting the lineup here for Cincinnati, it's not going to give us a lineup till we set a pitcher. So we have Warren Spahn tonight.
Rob has a little barb for the Chicago fan.
Straight ball, I hit very much. But curveball, cats are afraid. I just watched that last week. Still good. And they would never make that movie ever.
Oh, God. That ship has sailed.
Yeah, not happening. And not because of the team's mascot. All right, so here we are with Atlanta. And we are facing José Rijo right-handed. So sorting by their OPS versus right-handers. Looks like our top guys are Eddie Matthews, Chipper Jones, Hank Aaron, and Hugh Duffy. So what do you like, Roto? You got a cleanup or a leadoff guy you like there?
Dale Murphy.
Murphy's going to play.
We got to play Dale Murphy just for old time's sake.
Yeah, Murphy's from Portland, Oregon, and like a lot of kids, that's the baseball we grew up on. It's stranded in the middle of Oregon.
Ed lives in Utah currently.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. You choose, man. I don't really have any big preference.
I think you got to hit Hank Aaron cleanup.
For sure.
It's sort of sacrilegious. I
just want to see Eddie Matthews and the Murph play.
from an OPS standpoint, or from an on-base standpoint, it looks like Eddie is actually our best OPS guy or on-base guy. So if we hit him first and Chipper third, it splits up a lefty and a switch hitter. Hugh Duffy is crazy fast.
Let's do it.
So we'll put him second near the top. Chipper will probably play left, though he plays a good third and a terrible shortstop. Probably keep him away from.
We got to get Andreas Thomas at short.
That's right? It. Or Rafael Ramirez.
Yeah.
So it looks like it is
Mark Lemke.
Even though the numbers say it, I can't hit Ozzie Albies ahead of Freddie Freeman. So Freeman.
I just thought that we know all of these are like randomly esoteric like role players from the Braves from like 84 to 91, right?
Yeah. Baver the Saver. They're closer for like a month. Awful. Joe Torre will catch. And then, Dale Murphy. Wow. Hard to believe it's. I'm not hitting Herman Long. He's
Sid
a really
Bream.
good shortstop from a long time ago.
Did Sid Bream? Is he on the?
No, Bream doesn't make
minor. He just didn't make
Bream
the minor.
played mainly for Pittsburgh.
That's right.
Pittsburgh's got 100 years. So Murphy. Actually, Murphy will play center because he's a great center fielder defensively, and Hugh Duffy will play left. Actually, because he's a pretty good fielder. And Chipper's not at all. So Chipper's our DH. And now we'll let the computer do what it will. Hey, Johnny Bench is in there again. Who knew?
Ooh, Adam Dunn. Three outcome Adam Dunn.
As a lefty. Wow.
I like it.
So who is Dunn? Who's not? Come on. Are we going to play Adam Dunn instead of Pete Rose?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah, Adam Dunn is just a lumberjack, man. Like,
you got to have Pete Rose in here somewhere, unless he's just dreadful against lefties. Let's see. No, he's good against lefties.
All right, Weber.
So who's bad? Votto is bad against lefties.
Really?
So so far this season.
Oh, okay,
so
gotcha.
We'll drop Rose in here. He can play. Well, he's a bad first baseman. Wait a minute. There we go. Dunn plays first. Rose DHs. There, done. Or here you go for Reds fans. Ooh, no, Suarez is actually better at third. So send the hate mail to B Rotundi with a U.
Rob Irizarry.
That's it.
Rob, that's Sid Bream. I mean, that's one of those memories, man. It's just in there. Yeah, you're gonna have, when we die, you're gonna have all the pleasant moments of your life flashing by, and then that's gonna randomly insert, right? Right? That's just gonna be one of those random like pop culture things that just gets shoved right in there.
And the funny thing to me is we didn't know to boo Barry Bonds yet, right? We didn't know that he was a little bit confident, maybe overconfident. Well, I can't say overconfident, so good he was, but borderline cocky. Pirates fans loved him because he was homegrown, didn't know he was going to leave.
Yeah.
Because they paid Van Slyke instead. It's kind of weird. But anyway, he was going anyway. But Sid Bream was running forever, right? It was like he rounded third, fourth, and fifth.
But he had like a NFL tackle knee brace on.
Yeah.
It's just like
the slowest guy you could have ever believed.
So amazing.
He slides home and he wins. Bream is a hero. Bonds is the GOAT. And
it was like four hopper.
And no one remembers who singled to score that run. Any idea?
Was it Andres Thomas?
No, it was like a young middle infield prospect. I think it was Francisco Cabrera. Like,
okay,
tiny career, but at that point, one of the biggest hits in Atlanta Braves history.
Oh, hands down.
And all anybody sees is that pop gun throw from Bonds, and Bream barely safe.
Well, it wasn't even a target. It was like it was going up the first baseline.
Yeah,
it's like four hopper. Just like, wait, what just happened? Yeah. I mean, maybe it just slipped out of his hand. I don't know.
It made up for being weak by being completely off target.
Right. As Rob says, it was running like he had a piano on his back.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so here we go. I feel like we've been pretty representative here.
All right.
Let's get some baseball going.
I was like, I don't think Cabrera had another at bat.
José Rijo gets the start for Cincinnati. He's made 6 starts on the year and is 4-1 with an earned run average of 3.46. His first start against Atlanta. He'll be opposed by Warren Spahn for Atlanta. It's his first start of the year. It's 66 degrees, wind speed 2 miles per hour, out to left center field. Pitching for Atlanta, Warren Spahn. Leading off for Cincinnati, center fielder, Eric Davis.
What's the over-under on career major league at-bats for Francisco Cabrera if I say 300? Over or under?
Over. I bet it's around 650.
You're right. It was 350.
Oh, okay.
You know what? It wasn't terrible. A career 254 hitter.
Yeah.
A 453 slugging. He wasn't bad. He had 351 career at bats, 17 homers, 62 RBIs.
I wonder what happened.
I don't, because he wasn't getting regular playing time here, right? He played 4 basic seasons for the Braves, and he had the at bats are 137, 95, 10, and 83. I wonder if he got hurt. Anyway, he'll always have that RBI single. Let me get back in here.
Man, I might need to clean that desktop up, Webb.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like I'm looking at my dad's computer.
Yeah, I know. I know where everything is.
That's what he says too.
Right? Yeah, I know I'm old.
There was one time where I borrowed his computer. I looked at it. I don't think there was a single slot where you could have added one more file.
You're right. It's like, I got to stop now. It's full. Now, bear in mind that I'm adding like 10 different images every Thursday night for the Eternal Baseball newsletter, including a sweet one of the giant head mascot race this week between, I love that they race Ricky Henderson against Dennis Eckersley and Raleigh Finley.
And Raleigh. Beautiful.
Yeah, who must have only made it on the strength of the mustaches. But I got to imagine that if Raleigh or Dennis win that race ever, the one lone voice in the stand stands up and goes, "That is bullshit." And it's Ricky Henderson probably complaining about the inaccuracy. Like, no one cares if sausage beats chorizo or wiener schnitzel or whatever.
That's a lot of pressure if you get the Henderson outfit.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Run, man, run. All right, here we go. We're ready for because we set the lineups, I got to get control back to Cincinnati. Because even though I'm rocking the Reds jersey tonight, we are playing as the Braves. So Eric Davis, best player in the history of baseball over the course of, I think it was the end of 87 and the start of 88.
Yeah.
There's something like his, if you take that full season, he hit like 340 with 40 homers and 55 steals and like, it was off the chart defense. So it's that Eric Davis who we're looking at tonight, leading off here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, we got a question from John
Foster.
Good question there, John. So for Atlanta, rotation, that was easy. So Spahn took the place of Tommy Bond. So let me do pitchers. Now remember, this is best 3 years of their career, consecutive years, average. So it may not be somebody like Tom Glavine, who was friggin' fantastic and all world forever Brave. But for best 3 years average, he didn't really have a spike. He was just really damn good all the time. So look here, I'll flip the stats. These are the best 3 years combined for Atlanta, and then sorted by ERA. And if you just go straight down the list here for ERA, peak ERA from their best 3 years combined, it's Maddox, Tommy Bond, Dick Rudolph, Jim Whitney, Phil Niekro, Vic Willis, who just got sent to their minors because he hasn't been pitching well, Kid Nichols. I know this is going to seem sacrilegious. Smoltz pitches in relief for the Braves, for these Braves. But he did that for the real Braves too. But anyway, right now, Maddox, Spahn, Rudolph, Whitney, Niekro with Bond and Glavin as their spot starters. So
that's nice to have Glavin.
yeah, not bad. Yeah, Glavin.
You're a long guy.
Yeah, so you can tell if the ump is given a couple inches off the right side of the plate, then bring me Glavin right now.
Right.
Game over. Anyway, so that's what it looks like. So, and there is a lot of that. Kurt Schilling doesn't always start for Philadelphia because it's Philadelphia, right? They got 100 years of starters to pick from. Same thing for Atlanta because they get not just Atlanta, they get Milwaukee and they get Boston too. So from all their lineage, a lot of talent. So anyway, George Foster.
God, the sideburns are just on point.
Yeah. And Foster, I think, set the record this year for most
baseman,
most likes
Adam Dunn
for us. He was player of the day on Thursday, and Reds fans went nuts. The support was ridiculous. So,
one more quick question when we have an opportunity.
Is Frank? Yeah, Robinson is Frank starting for the Reds? Yeah, he's hitting cleanup, playing right field because he's the man. I loved when Frank was managing the Nationals. And Mike Scioscia came out to argue some call, not directly with Frank, but Frank was out there too, and they both argued for a bit. And so Scioscia didn't, aw shucks him with the hand, but his body language was everything but. And Frank was totally cool until Scioscia basically blew him off while he was talking, and then Frank chased him down to finish the sentence, and he was, 30 years older, probably, or 20 years older than Scioscia. And Scioscia was a big boy. So I loved it. 70-year-old Frank Robinson wasn't having any of that.
Love it.
One of my favorite bits. So,
Rob has that. Yeah, I remember hearing this one.
Spahn saying, pray for rain. That's it. All right, here we go. So Adam Dunn, the father of modern baseball, right? Walk, hit, strike out.
Right fielder, Frank Robinson.
Now, we chose this game, this sim. This is action with an exclamation point, PC baseball from DKSports.com. If you like it, you can make your own league at www.dksports.com because it's very realistic. But Adam Dunn being 74% likely to steal second base with a lefty on the mound, we're not going to let that happen. So we'll keep it close. 55 steps. All right, here's Frank Robinson, who I'm petrified of.
Strike three.
Ooh.
Pitching for Cincinnati, Jose.
All right.
Jose Rijo.
Leading off for Atlanta, third baseman, Eddie Matthews.
Just one T in Matthews, if you're scoring at home.
Always known for his glove.
Yeah.
Duffy.
Known for two things, defense and base stealing. Here's Hugh Duffy, who last year, or last season, I think he had like 22 home runs, and 10 of them were inside the park. So be ready out there. He's a great bunter, too. Whoa, it bounced off two people. That was kind of cool.
Designated hitter, Chipper Jones.
Says sharp ground ball back to pitcher off the leg of Rijo. That's a hit for Duffy. Duffy
right.
can steal, Roto. He's your guy.
Let's send him. It's early, but let's send him.
Just
let's
to point out, Donnie Bench is tired as hell, but he's still a 10 defensively. There aren't many of those.
He's distracted.
With a 9 arm.
But it's Hugh Duffy, man.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to stop him? There he goes. Ooh.
All right.
2/3, 67% steal third, Roto, with 1 out.
I think we let Larry do his work.
If it was the bottom of the order, maybe different. But yeah, this is the 3-hitter. So, DH Chipper Jones makes a Wizard of Rotundi with a single to right. Hugh Duffy scores.
So Rijo was part of a trade package for Ricky, huh?
Aaron.
That's right. Should have been a Yankee.
Cool.
Was a Yankee, actually. Yep. And then when the Yankees traded him back to Oakland, they got Luis Polonia, Eric Plunk, and Greg Cadaret. And I was spending the summer in New Jersey at my dad's house, and the highlight was going to be I was going to get to watch Ricky play every night. So it was a huge Ricky fan and a Yankee fan. And they traded him to Oakland for a bag of garbage.
When you can get Eric Plunk, man, you got to make that move. I think I remember that 86 Flair rookie that Eric Plunk.
And then And then Polonia got rung up on, or at least accused. Make sure we're not overselling it, but accused of associating with girls who were cute but way too young. So it was a big win for my Yankees. Love that deal.
How old was Ricky at that point?
This would have been
early 30?
89, and he rookied in the 80s. So, yeah, probably 29, 30 maybe. And Ricky had some leg issues with the Yankees. I think they were tired. They thought it was an act. But regardless, I like the 1 year Ricky tore his hamstring. And Harold Reynolds won the stolen base crown with like 55 steals. Reynolds tells the story that Henderson called him in the offseason out of nowhere. And he picked it out and he said, "Harold? Yeah, who's this? This is Ricky." "Oh, hey, Ricky, what's up? You should be embarrassed of yourself." Win the stolen base title with 55. Ricky, next year, Ricky have 55 by the All-Star break. And he loved it. He got called at home and harassed by Ricky Henderson.
That's amazing.
Outstanding. All right, so anyway, Hanker Henry Aaron steps in. Hank Aaron has been quiet by Aaron numbers this year, and was friggin' outstanding.
First baseman, number 5, so Freddie Freeman.
Maybe the rebound is there, maybe it isn't. They still like Freddie in Atlanta?
I don't know.
Hard to say. It was weird how that whole thing played out.
I have to imagine they still do. Just because, I mean, he seems like he's really bummed that he actually left. So
yeah, I think he realizes the money's greener, but the grass isn't always green.
Yeah, he fired his agent and all, and yeah.
Weird because Atlanta keeps almost everybody, or they did. Well, they still do. They re-sign their guys young, keep them around. But Freddie and who's the short? Swanson just got away. So
yeah,
we'll see. Good for my fantasy team. Let's get Grissom some.
Yeah, dude, you're loaded with Braves, aren't you?
I got a lot of Braves. Yeah, hasn't done me any good. But
Catcher Johnny Bench.
All right, Johnny Bench, babyface.
Third baseman,
number
7, Eugenio
had Bubbles
Suarez.
Hargrave in there, who kills lefties. But I didn't know this was Suarez's thing. Apparently, he's the bubble blowing king of Major League Baseball. Hard to find a picture of him where he's not blowing a bubble. So
nice to see someone doing good work.
Right. And
designated hitter, Pete Rose.
There you go, Pete. Love the batting helmet with no ear flaps.
They need to bring those back.
Pretty slick.
But I don't even know if those are legal.
Probably not.
Second baseman,
That's right.
number 1, Ozzy
It would
Albies.
only be a good nickname if he had a history like Sal the Barber, right? Like if he hit guys a lot. Ozzy Albies. Braves have it's weird how some teams historically just have a black hole at one position, right? And for the Braves, it's second base. There's nobody there. Sorry, Mark Lemke.
I was going to say Mark Lemke, man.
Not bad, but not eternal either, if you get my drift. But Ozzy Albies holding it down.
You know, I don't know the baseball bunch. Rob just had a comment about the baseball bunch.
Yeah, I remember them on play on Saturdays, I think. And they would
Catcher
around
Joe
the league.
Torre.
And Bench was on it, San Diego Chicken, and Lasorda was on it a lot.
But they were co-hosting? Was it like a
kind of
Graggiola kind of thing? Or
yeah, and it was like a half-hour show. It was aimed at kids, and it was stories of the game, interviews, some highlights, some tips. They would go through how to hit or how to make the turn at second base. And I watched it a lot. None of that stuck, obviously, given my my all-star career. Joe Torre steps in. Oh, one of my favorite Torre stories. The '96 Yankees, my favorite team ever. First title team that I watched. I think maybe for any squad I rooted for. They lose the first 2 games in New York, and they get killed. And they're going down to Atlanta, and Steinbrenner's freaking out because that's what George did, was overreact whatever direction seemed appropriate. And Torre said, George, looked him right in the eye, said, George, calm down. Atlanta's my town. We'll win 3 in Atlanta, come back, win the title up here for you.
Wow.
So, if only it was on tape. But one of the better guarantees ever. And I love that Torrey in his first year managing the Yankees looked George Steinbrenner, a fuming Steinbrenner in the eye and said, "George, calm down." Anyway, good shit. Barry Larkin's all over that. As I recall,
Center fielder,
Barry
number
Larkin
9,
was in your
Dale
pantheon
Murphy.
of favorite players growing up.
Yeah, I used to enjoy watching it play. I used to that whole Reds team. You know, when I told you a couple episodes back, but I used to get home from school because we didn't have any idea who the Braves were playing every night because our paper was terrible. And so you just knew there was a game, and so you're just like, okay, come on, let it be Cincinnati, let it be Cincinnati, and then generally it'd be some other terrible NL team, but
we'd get them to be like a 4 o'clock first pitch sometimes if they were at home or running that East Coast circuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Barry Larkin and Cal Daniels.
Yeah. That whole squad.
Wasn't down with Sabo though.
Sabo, yeah.
I just remember the goggles were a little off-putting.
They were.
Then I was a Ricky fan, so when they swept the A's in the World Series, and I think it was at the parade, they gave Sabo a live mic, and he just cursed like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, really?
It was like, that guy?
Yeah, he had like the military haircut, and he's an interesting guy. I wonder what he's doing now.
I don't know. Somebody asked me that about Jeff Kent today.
He's like racing motorbikes or something. Like
he actually has, like a set of off-road and ATV vehicle dealerships in Texas.
That makes perfect sense. That's very plausible.
From California, and I'm like, why is he in Texas? And then I read a little bit more, and he's making America great again. So Texas is just right for Jeff.
That's probably not surprising. Yeah, no one would. Yeah, Jeff Kent, but
I hope he's rocking the mustache.
I would suspect so. Yeah.
Kent was one of our players of the day today for the Nationals.
He could hit, man. He had a couple big years, man. Holy cow! Yeah.
And second base, there aren't a lot of second basemen in the Hall of Fame. Not a lot of offensive production from there. So anyway,
he was legit.
Dale Murphy, the Murph, Power Alley, right? Great poster.
Rob asked something about Sabo.
Oh, let's see.
I just remember one story about him where he apparently like stiffed a barber because he thought he did a terrible job. And then, I guess he messed up the crew cut somehow. I don't know how you do that, but
how you mess up the crew cut?
I don't know. But he must have really messed up if he actually walked out.
I mean, really, if that happens to you and you're Chris Sabo, you just go clean with it and you'll be back in like 10 days.
4 days. Yeah, 4 days you're back.
Maybe you got Mark Davis's barber. Did you ever read some of that stuff? The A's or the Raiders owner?
No. Oh, no. Go ahead, sir.
He's a redhead, so I like, part of the tribe. But he's got like the Appalachian Bowl haircut, but with a big circle here on the front. So it's like, it looks like the St. Louis Arch on the front of his face. And he flies a barber in from like Palm Springs, California, like once a week to keep his hair looking that bad.
God. It's the perks of being quite wealthy.
I guess.
Someday, man, someday.
Anyway, back to the game. Murphy with a single to left. We can send Albies home, but he's only got a 40% chance of being safe, and there's one out. I think you gotta leave him there on third.
Who's up next? Sorry.
It's bottom of the order, so it's Long, the shortstop, who's not great. But a sac fly or a ground ball might score him anyway.
Okay, let's hold off.
All right, send him home. No.
It's one of our chattier episodes. We're not really.
Herman Long.
I got to argue with that, Rob, because of the precision of the arc. It's pretty damn good. So here's Herman Long, who's an average bunter. And he's hitting ninth for a reason, right? He's hitting 202 on the year. One homer, though. But unless you want to get kooky with a bunt, I think we just got to let him hit here.
Sorry, what type of bunter is he?
He's a 5.
Oh, okay.
So he's okay. But it's a great catcher behind the plate.
I bet he'll make contact, and then we just send Albius no matter what. Let's do it.
I like it. Swing it. He lines out to Dunn, but Murphy gets back. So it's up to Eddie Matthews.
All right, Eddie.
Ball 4.
I guess it isn't up to Eddie Matthews. Hugh Duffy.
There we go.
Who is a fantastic bunter.
Look at that. So what would you call that? Is that the cravat? What's his neck piece there?
It looks like a hockey tie, right? Looks like it's got ties under a collar, which is a weird look.
Okay.
Especially for an athletic competition, but you do you, Duffy. Great bunter.
It's one of those experimental Nike unis.
Right. But this is a Swedish situation with 2 outs. You'd have to beat it out with Bench behind the plate.
Yeah.
A very tired Johnny Bench who did that.
Let him rip. Let him rip.
All right, here we go. He fouled out. Oh, fouled back.
Ooh.
Off the mask of Bench.
Now he's really hurt.
He's really hurt. Oh, what was that? All right.
Strike 3.
Barry.
Mercy.
Barry Larkin's a great bunter, and he's leading off the inning, so I think we'll bring the corners in here. Larkin's having a rough year, too, so he pretty much bunted it.
Second baseman, Joe Morgan.
Which is good, because if he was doing the telecast, he'd be ripping Albie's footwork. Because he was good at that, among other things. Eric the Red, right?
Uh-oh.
It looks like Hank's on it. There it is. Chipper Jones fouls it down the line, and Frank can't get it. Oriole fans still mad that Frank is in Cincinnati, but look at the numbers. It makes sense.
Strike 3.
And here's Hank with 1 down. We got a lot of that.
Yeah.
Nope. Look, sounded better than it actually was.
It did sound good.
Freddie Freeman.
Ball 4.
Walks. 40% steal. Probably not happening.
Yeah.
What looks like a wild pitch or a pass ball. Pass ball. Ooh. Bench looks a little tired. It actually says. You think? I'll make sure Bubbles Hargrave gets some time tomorrow. Let's see. All right, so runner in scoring position for Ozzie Albies. Nope. Little pop to right. But we're still up 1-0 as we head to the top of the 4th. George Foster with looks like a single left. Foster's not much of a threat to run. As Adam Dunn does. And here, this is the guy who's going to get us. I just know it. Frank Robinson gets out a ride.
Murph's got it.
Murphy is really well rated in center. I remember him as a right fielder more.
Yeah, no, his MVP years he was in center, right?
I think I really started watching in like late 85, early 86. So I think I missed Murphy's actual really good years. But he qualifies as a terrible catcher, which is a neat option to have late. If you want to put a guy who's terrible behind the plate. Johnny Bench wakes up from his nap, flies out him. Joe Torre.
There we go.
Singling up the middle.
Where we at? Ugh.
18.
With Murph. That's a Murph do some damage.
Come on, Dale. Like a 9 hopper to short. They can't turn it. Look at Dale Murphy over there. I don't remember him being particularly fast, but
he had a couple of stolen base years, didn't he?
Let's look at it. But he will here. Not even a throw. Because Johnny Bench is in All right, so runner on second, 1 out for Herman Long.
Ball 4.
Who's only there because Braves don't have a lot of shortstop candidates. Even Swanson's best numbers aren't off the wall good. So, Eddie Matthews. Ooh, that's a solid.
There we go.
Left.
He's there.
Oh, he's going for 2. He's in.
Wow.
I like that Hugh Duffy and Herman Long appear to be sharing secrets there. Duffy's a real star. He was great the first 2 years and just okay this year. But let's see if he can do some damage here. Well, it's 4-1 at least.
That's a run.
Yeah, hard to hit it over Eric Davis's head. But another one in. It's 3-0 Braves. As Chipper steps in. And a hopper to Barry Larkin. But 2 runs in, Braves up 3-0.
Rob thinks they were going over signs. I think they were looking at the crowd.
Yeah. Hugh Duffy's a dog, you know that. His wife loves when he's on TV because that's the only time she knows exactly where he is.
We're just disparaging some guy who's been dead for 120 years.
90, right? Where'd you take that stagecoach after the game?
Yeah.
There's Suarez. Yeah, we were making. We're making fun of a Philly a couple years ago. Actually.
Tris Speaker. It was Tris Speaker. I think
it was Sherry McGee.
Well, Sherry McGee.
Speaker actually. I didn't know.
We had Speaker talking to some lady out in the center though. At one point, it was just like.
I remember. I didn't know at the time. I used to make fun of the Red Sox for letting Tris Speaker get away in his prime, but the truth behind that story was that Speaker was. I think I'll probably get the religions wrong, but he was like violently Catholic, right? And the other 2 outfielders were Protestant. And he just every day he would show up and be like, "What's up, heathens?"
Wow.
And that got kind of old, I guess.
Yeah, their own troubles in the outfield there.
That's right. Hey, maybe you should next time you hit one in the gap, maybe you should take second on your way to hell. Like, that got old. So. Great player, though. Taking nothing away from Tris Speaker. Pete Rose steps in. Out,
violently Catholic.
What do you think Pete Rose and Dale Murphy would talk about? Probably not much. Oh, Barry Larkin pops it up. Hugh Duffy's all over
it. Rob with another knife.
Right. Yeah. Tris Speaker's probably calling Bogarts right now and saying it's going to be fine. You'll be good. Hank Aaron got a old.
Oh, wrong guy.
I guess just because it's Hank, whenever I hear a crack, I'm like, there it goes. Because that used to be how it was. And when I say used to be, I mean in the first 2 seasons of Eternal Baseball. But bit of a down year for Hank Aaron so far. Freddie, too, 198. Come on, Freddie. McGriff has actually started to get a lot more playing in Atlanta. Ozzie Alvis. Well, I got to say, Warren Spahn, allowing 2 hits through the first 5, it's probably
not too shabby.
Earned himself another start there.
Really fielding his position. Oh, I spoke too
Tried
soon.
to beat Morgan to the bag. To break this to you, Warren, but you're
didn't read the scouting report.
You're 89 years old, brother. Okay, Joe Morgan is 92% to steal second. So is that a pickoff or a pitch out?
Let's try to pick him off there.
Right.
Rob with the McGraw.
Joe Morgan just gave us a middle finger. Now he's 96%.
Whew. All right.
Motivated. That was McGriff's photo for a long time. Was him just doing the Palmero, actually.
I love it because didn't he just have a blank hat on?
Yeah, I think it had like an Amansky logo.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yeah, but it's like I think it's like a trucker hat. Right?
You're right. It was like a
glass. Yeah, but when he made the haul, we announced, okay, no more. And same thing, I had Robin Ventura. His official game day photo was getting pummeled by Nolan Ryan because it's funny. But when in the Facing Nolan documentary, they actually talked about how the Rangers had said anybody who gets hit today has to rush him. And so my takeaway from that was, I don't have a problem with somebody rushing Nolan Ryan, but the fact that he thought about it and went, this is a good idea. I'm going to go get the old man. There's no upside to that. You either beat up Grandpa or Grandpa beats up you, and you're the villain or the joke.
Yeah.
Either way. But him thinking about it was he didn't want to go.
Right.
But he had to weigh Russian Nolan Ryan versus having to deal with the fallout from teammates.
You can see that meme of Ben Affleck smoking like this, like realizing that he had to do this, or else he was going to get a bunch of shtick back in.
That was basically it. So and Ventura never did anything like that ever again in his career. So it's obviously out of character, but on some level he was being a good teammate. So when that happened, we gave Ventura a real photo back.
I think that was a good call. Good call.
Respect for both of you guys. All right, so Morgan's at 96%. You
want to pitch out?
Yeah, I want to pitch out. See if we get him. Oh, he's just playing with us now. Now he's at 95. Do we pick him off or just let him be?
I think you just pitch.
All right. And he didn't go. Maybe Zarek Davis hit this off the moon.
Oh, no.
How much is Joe Morgan laughing at us rounding the bases? Pick off? No. Pitch out? No. Pick off? No. Fine, we'll pitch. And then Eric Davis just hit one off Jupiter. And it's 3-2 Braves.
Rob has an...
Right. Frank Thomas with his tag team partner. Who's Doug Flutie, right? They're buddy cops now, apparently. Used to be Van Slyke, but they kicked him out of the NWO.
They're living their best lives right now.
Right. And guess what? She'll like it too. Here's Adam Dunn.
It's like, bro, why are you talking to my wife, bro?
Right. Adam Dunn just hit his first single of the season, I think. Good for him. He's 93% to steal somehow. We're not letting that happen.
So did they really stop? Is Van Slyke not doing him anymore? Like,
I haven't seen him on one in a long time. It was a 3-man crew to start with, and then they were like, you know what?
Like, you're just not. Is it actually called Testament?
What's it called? I don't remember what it's called, but it's something.
It's like you're not that material.
No. I mean, do you need Van Slyke when you got Flutie there already? Feels like they're kind of playing.
Yeah, that's true. They're kind of hitting the same demographic.
Yeah. It'd be like Pulp Fiction with Jules, Vince, and Carl, right?
I love the fact they have Flutie though and Frank Thomas. I mean, they're just perfect in those roles, dude. And Frank looks like he's having a good time. Like they don't look like they're. Yeah, same with Flutie. They don't look like they're struggling to deliver the Lions for a paycheck, right? It's like, this is great. Like that's
Frank Thomas never struck me as goofy during his career, right? But
yeah, no, he does it well. Like just embrace it, right? I love it.
I like that Frank, and hardly anybody remembers it. I like that Frank was a blocking tight end for Auburn. That he blocked for Bo Jackson. How'd you like to have Bo coming around the corner and Frank Thomas sits on you? That's a long day for an outside linebacker.
Or a corner, right? The corner's just like
coming up from Pepperdine or Vanderbilt.
Vandy.
Long day, man. Long day.
He's like, man, free books are not worth this, man.
I think I like Frank as a card collector back in the day. And I think I looked up his college stats, and he caught almost no passes. And, in my youth, I was like, I guess he wasn't very good. Like, no, you don't get it, Weapon. It wasn't a tight end heavy offense with Bo friggin' Jackson in the backfield, right? All right, anyway, Frank Robinson steps in.
How do you even block for that guy, though? Like, I mean, he'd be on top of you so fast before he was like even.
Yeah, he's probably sitting on a linebacker after Bo is 5 yards past both of them. And the linebacker is like, come on, man.
Yeah, right.
All right, Joe Torre hits it high, but not far.
Ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I should like it.
Murph with a walk. Here's
It's like, bro, I'm trying to keep this on the down low, man. Like, why did you have to talk to my wife about this?
Look, man, it's on enough. That adds on enough baseball games that maybe they need a little bit of Eternal Baseball sponsorship.
There you go, dude.
Throwing it out there. Our demographic does skew a little bit.
Seventh inning, man. We just hit it.
I think Johnny Bench needs a little bit. A little pick-me-up. So,
we just have no idea what it actually does, right? Like, is this a performance enhancer? Or is this like what are we actually pushing?
Or is it a performance enhancer? Right? I think that was. I think Palmero was one of the first celebrity endorsers for Viagra back in the day, right before the steroid controversy. Right?
He's just twirling his mustache. Like.
He didn't have that gig for long, but if they had a more forward-thinking marketing guy, they could have had him go, I'm Rafael Palmero, and I know all about substances that make you play a little better.
There you go. That would have been perfect.
Okay. Johnny Bench.
It's fine. Well, there was one, it used to have a wrestling magazine. I don't know if you remember that. But we were thumbing through one day, and they had one of those ads toward the back, and it was like, it was like a, I don't know, love enhancer or something. I don't know what they described it back in the 80s.
Right.
But then they had to like prove how scientific it was. They had a molecular bond, and it was 2 hydrogens and an oxygen. It's like literally like
That's awesome.
It's like $5.95 plus shipping and handling.
Hey, seems like a deal, right?
Great deal.
I remember one of those one of the wrestling mags in the back. They had 2 just jacked up losers you'd never heard of before, just standing there all flexed out, that said, "We want you to join Power Team USA."
It was like a training academy?
Yeah, it was like, you can be the next world champion. Join our jabronis here. And it was 2 just muscle-bound morons standing next to each other. And it just, even as a kid, I looked at it and like, well, that looks like garbage.
It's like some small barn in the middle of Saskatchewan or something.
I think it was California, so at least it was funny. So
okay, gotcha.
So the dude on the left, blonde guy on the left, brown-haired guy on the right, and I remember we were laughing our ass off at him. Turns out, guy on the left, Sting. Guy on the right, Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, it turned out to be later?
So I should have joined Power Team USA. Who knew?
Oh, man. We missed our calling.
Right? Yeah, we were just blading sight. We didn't have any actual title plan. Anyway, Suarez steps in, still working on that gum.
Oh, Rob's got it. There you go.
Yep.
And maritally, there you go. That's what they called it. Maritally.
Is that what they called it back then?
That's probably what they call it now. I'm happy to show a little maritally on the side here, but there we go. Let's get this going.
Pete Rose will advertise for it. And what do you know? He's at bat right now. I bet he'd do a great job.
Did he just
off the wall.
I was like, there's no way you just homered
What's going on?
Oh, nice try, Rose.
I was going to say Murphy got him, but it was relayed from Herman Long.
Wow.
So Pete Rose, I'm sure, seeing Ray Fosse behind the plate, decided he was just going to kill another catcher.
I love it.
Notori up to the task.
Woo!
Down, big play. Reserves a 3-2 lead for Atlanta. Rio, we're almost done with Rio here. He's only got 15 pitches before he's exhausted. So, and Hugh Duffy is a bunt machine, which is why the corners are in. So with the corners in, we probably just got to swing, yeah.
But before we make this decision,
right?
We'd like to talk to you briefly about.
Yeah, hey guys.
Hey guys.
Since you're not doing anything on a Sunday night, let me. Want to jazz up your Sunday night?
You want to jazz it up?
Not as exciting as Eternal Baseball, but
it's almost the witching hour.
10 o'clock, you should be in bed, and when you're in bed. All right, so Hugh Duffy's a great bunter. That's why the corners are in. So I assume we're swinging away here.
Let's do it.
Okay. Oh, I think that was a swinging bat. Didn't work. Ground ball down the third baseline.
Torrey is wise to his nonsense.
Like Torrey said, Atlanta's his town, baby.
There you go. You're going to try to pull that in.
Hank Aaron 0 for 3. Man, rough day for Hammer and Hank. Spahn's still got 40 pitches in him.
Let's do it. He's doing great.
Let me just let's refresh ourselves with our bullpen options here in Atlanta. John Rocker, our only left-hander. But if you remember, Rocker in his prime, despite what you might think of it.
An interesting interview in his prime, no doubt.
Absolutely. Kimbrel and Smoltz, as well as there's a ton of starters to pick from. Spencer Strider makes Atlanta's all-time team based on his rookie year.
Wow.
He led the league in total mustache this year.
Lovely mustache.
One of my better waiver pickups. I'm going to give myself.
No doubt.
Glavin pitches in relief. Ridiculous. So anyway, there are some options. Should we need them? But right now, we're in Spawn squeeze. Barry Larkin sits down. Joe Morgan is not capable of any lefty-on-lefty violence, apparently. Eric Davis, who hurt us. But not right now.
All right, man.
So
almost home.
We're rolling here. In the bottom of the 8th, Freddie Freeman steps in. They're going to need to get somebody in for Rio because he's almost done. And given that the computer doesn't always do this right, just out of respect, we got a couple righties and then 2 lefties coming up. So I am going to take over Cincinnati now just to make sure they get Norm Charlton and
Robert Dibble.
Warming up. Just because they should. Okay. And now I get control back to the computer. Albie's a terrible bunter, so this is pretty much has to be swinging. All right. Johnny Bench says, "Look out for the bunt."
Look how on to you, man.
Not quite all of that. Fans really mad about it. Okay. Joe Torre steps in. All right. So with that, first and second, 1 out, and Rio over his max pitch limit. I think that's all. So if you were Cincinnati with Dale Murphy up, right? Oh, Murphy is, I forget, Murphy's right-hand hitter. Would you bring in Dibble to face, you remember, this is old baseball rules. You can change relievers whatever you want. So would it be Dibble to get Murphy and then Charlton for the 2 lefties?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to do that.
There's a 30% chance that Murphy's taking one in the ear right here.
Yeah, well, I like being able to control both teams because it gives me twice the chance to make a bad bullpen decision.
There you go.
But for Cincinnati,
I'm loving the DH, though. We don't have to worry about the double switch.
It's a lot of
pitching
thinking.
for Cincinnati.
That was all you doing those. I had no in.
I'm not good at that stuff, but we didn't have any terrible mistakes. I can't find a good picture of Norm Charlton. If anybody can, flip it to me. Not a Getty Images picture. So many people edit the watermark out on Getty Images. They're like, that's what it's there for, people. Don't do that. But I put the wrong guy in.
Go with it.
Well, better than out of gas Jose Rijo. Anyway.
Ooh.
I'm kind of glad that's not out.
You're right.
I would have heard about that.
Okay,
look, I'm in genius.
There you go. Now he's ready. Now he's lined up.
You got 2 lefties. Herman Long doing not much. So we go to the 9th with 2, 3, 4 headed up. Spahn looks strong. Do we want Kimbrel or Smoltz ready?
Get him ready for sure.
So Dunn's the left. Well, we have a lefty on the mound, so that doesn't matter. So Kimbrel, Smoltz, Okay. George Foster Jefferson. Spahn looks strong. Murphy is all over that.
Can of corn.
Just like that. Adam Dunn, who's, wow. Okay, Dunn murders left-handers and is terrible against right-handed pitching. So are we making that swap now to Kimbrel or Smoltz with 3 more right-handers coming up next?
Yeah. Let's let Spahn do one more.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Dunn is awful against righties. 220, 343 against lefties.
Oh, don't make me second guess myself.
Yeah, don't hit me with the facts, Webb.
All right. You choose. You choose. I
have no problem deferring here, but I will throw you under the bus if it doesn't work because I completely disagree with this.
Let's go. Let's see if we can get him a complete game.
Okay. Again, totally on you from this point.
Totally on me.
And all the credit if we win. So
half the credit.
half the credit if we win, all the blame if we lose. I'm on board for that. Oh, Roto's got it going.
One more.
I heard
no, it's Frank Robinson.
I heard about you in video games, Brent. There's a story going around. Well, Frank is 341 against lefties, 314 against righties. So it's
one more. We got him. Let's roll it.
Yeah, the worst you can do is tie it up, right?
Yes.
Murphy. All credit.
The final score from SunTrust Park: Atlanta 3, Cincinnati 2. Warren Spahn is the winner. He is now 1-0 on the season. José Rijo is the loser.
If you could Venmo me half that credit, I'd appreciate it.
Number 3 on the season.
Half the
Time
money
of the
from our
game:
new marketing
2 hours,
endorsement we just
30
made up.
minutes.
Warren Spahn is the MVP of the game as well. Did a good day, actually a pretty good debut for both guys.
Hydropower.
So Rijo had pitched in the Cincinnati pen. That's why he's 4-2. But that was his first start. But my accidental move to Norm Charlton was outstanding. But
brilliant.
Good, as Brent's saying, stick with Spahn. Damn the numbers. And he throws a complete game in his first start of the year. 1-0. Good for you. So that's how it goes. We actually ran a little long this week. Usually we're a little tighter at 10 o'clock.
We were chatty tonight. That was fun.
Good game. I was inspired by the Reds jersey. But yeah, that's how Eternal Baseball works. If you like what you saw, you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us at eternalbaseball.com. We have team-specific message boards. If you don't like how your team's playing or how we're running your team, drop us a line. We always say no one knows your team better than the diehard fans. So let us know. We'll make a swap. We just did with Rio and Spahn coming in, and who knew? It actually kind of, well, only one team can win, but they both pitched well. So
everybody's a winner.
Yeah,
it was a moral victory.
We all go home happy. So you can find us there. We have a newsletter you can sign up for. Totally free. Goes out on Fridays. You can catch us every Sunday night right here on the Eternal Baseball Podcast. So with that
was fun, guys.
We had a good game. I think my favorite part was obviously Murphy to Long to Torrey, ruining Pete Rose's day today. Pretty good play. Most exciting baseball play you'll see all week. I guarantee it. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next week for another edition of the Eternal Baseball Podcast.